Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So this is going to be pretty much like an episode 2 of my previous video for talking about ADHD. This video is going to be centered around food and eating. I just wanted to share a little disclaimer from my last video. When I mentioned symptoms for ADHD, it does not mean that you also have ADHD. You need to get professionally diagnosed because there are a lot of other factors that go into someone actually determining if they have ADHD. Some people might deal with procrastination or focus problems, or it could be triggered by certain events in your life or whatever the case may be. So that does not mean that you have ADHD. Some people legit, they might have ADHD and do not know it. So that's why I just wanted to share my video with my symptoms, because a lot of the times I'm like, I've always been like this. Like, I never thought anything of it. But when a professional had examined me and more of my day-to-day routines, things that I struggle in, that was the deciding factor of, okay, you do have ADHD. And there is also a difference between ADHD and ADD, but that might be a separate video. But I just wanted to clear that out before we do the rest of this, the beef of this video. So let's go. The main thing that I wanted to say while starting out this video is that food, when you have any illness in general, food is medicine, right? And I am going to be answering one of the questions. I noticed someone asked if I take meds for ADHD. I do not. I do not like the thought of medication affecting the way that I think, the way, like, my emotions, my hormones, like all those things. I don't want it affecting my body at all. So I chose the holistic route, and thankfully the psychiatrist that I was seeing at the time, she was very supportive of that, and she understood why I wanted to go that route, and she was very helpful. So I started taking vitamin supplements because I was lacking in a lot of vitamins because I don't eat protein, as for one, or like certain instances like that. But I was pushed towards, like, of course, fruits and vegetables, dark leafy greens, eating foods that have a lot of magnesium in them, like to help me with like my hyperactivity, and also to help with anxiety and things of that nature. So I was put on to try and eat certain foods. Fish was one of them also. When it comes to fish and any kind of meat like that, it's very hard for me to cook those things because I would prefer not to cook them. So when I do eat out, I do try to opt for a protein because someone else is cooking it, not me. But yeah, I just wanted to start that out with, no, I do not take medication. I believe that food is medicine, and God will take care of the rest. So let's get into it. So one thing that I noticed about myself, because back in the day, and again, it's on and off, but I started noticing that it was very hard for me to cook food. I was trying to figure out, like, why is it so hard for me to meal prep like I normally would do? And it just, the thought of just cooking caused like this heavy task in my mindset that's just how I viewed cooking. I didn't view it as, and eating too, I didn't view cooking and eating as enjoyable. I did it because I knew that I had to do it. Like, it kind of became a chore. So yeah, that's one of the things that I noticed about myself with having ADHD, is that cooking can sometimes feel a lot. And I noticed that I started opting for the easier meals. So like, at times when I knew that I had to cook, I would just be eating rice. I just eat rice, open up a can of beans, call it a day. Or like pasta's an easy one. You know, I would make like simple meals just so that I could not die. So I noticed that I started making sure that because I hate cutting vegetables. Like, if I have to do that every day before I can eat or cook my meal, I'm probably not going to do it. Therefore, I'm not eating my vegetables, which that's a problem. So I started making sure that I was prepping everything, because I buy a lot of veggies, guys. So I'm making sure I'm cutting my lettuce, cutting my peppers, cutting my onions, cutting all these things. That way I don't have to do it ever so often. I just do it one and done. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the priorities, making the tasks in your mind and on paper, on your phone, or whatever it is, and just getting that hard to do task out of the way caused me to have a healthy and not so healthy relationship with food, because I notice a lot of the times, especially when I'm working from home, that I do not eat like I'm supposed to. I will wake up, I will be so hyper focused into what I need to do that I skip breakfast. When I'm hyper focused on a task, if I'm illustrating or painting or whatever it is that I'm doing, I will not notice that I'm hungry until my body starts giving me like those really painful hunger pains. Like, I have not eaten in hours, I need to eat something. And it's not good. It's not good at all. And I'm trying to do better at this and to be more mindful of it. But I noticed it's been a struggle for me recently in that aspect, because there are days when I can go hours without food, and that should not be the case. Again, with food being my medicine, I need to make sure that I'm giving my body the nutrients to thrive the right way. So lots of times I would not be eating enough, and there are many times when I would just eat one meal a day. And that would be like between like 12, 1, and 2, because I wake up early. Like I wake up at like 5 or 6. So I'm working all of those hours, not eating anything. And then my body is finally like, okay, you need to eat something. And then I'll eat something, and then I'll kind of like trickle down throughout the rest of the day. I've noticed that with my ADHD, my eating fluctuates. And again, it's something that I'm working on, but everyone deals with things differently. But that's something that I've noticed about myself personally over the months. Also, we have difficulty knowing what to eat. And that's why when I make these meal prepping videos, there's a deeper story behind that, you guys. And meal prepping means that when I go into the fridge, I know what I'm eating. And I know what to pick. If I do not meal prep, I'm scattered between, okay, do I eat this? I didn't prep this. So then I would have to do X, Y, Z if I want to really make this or da-da-da-da. And it becomes this whole indecisiveness problem, and then I end up either eating nothing, or sometimes I don't always eat the right foods when I need to the right way. So it's just that mindfulness that's very important. So aside from the hyper focusing to not eating when I'm supposed to, there are times when I'm not hyper focused and I actually overeat, or actually it coincides with one another. So I'm waiting until the last minute to eat. And so, of course, you start eating with your eyes. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten in hours. I need to eat something. So I might have like my normal platter of, I don't know, like rice and beans or something or other. And then I'll eat that. And mind you, I won't even be mindfully eating it. I'll just be eating it. I need to eat. I'm hungry. I need to feed my body. So I'll eat that. And then I'll sit and I'll be like, but I'm still hungry. So then I'll go and I'll grab a snack, or chips, or cookies, or seconds of what I just had, or, just things of that nature. I'll just start eating every little thing that I see, causing me to overeat at a time when I hadn't eaten for hours. I need to take it actually the opposite and take things slow and eat something simple, basic, and then wait a little while. And if I'm still hungry, then go from there. And that's why I said eating healthy is very important, because if I were to overeat, if I'm going to overeat, at least let me overeat the healthy things, like a pre-made salad or extra veggies or whatever. But when I didn't set myself up for success, I don't have any of those things to eat in the moment of my hunger. That's what I'm saying. So, and also I just want to point this out, but like, it's hard for people to see that, right? Because of course, looking at me, right? And like the videos that I posted or whatever, I look skinny, right? Nay's skinny. She could actually use a few more pounds, like all of this generic, stereotypical stuff, right? But that's why we always say you don't ever judge someone on the outside, because you don't know their health problems, any mental issues, like any weight fluctuations. Because I've noticed my weight has never fluctuated as much as it has this year. And if I'm gonna be honest, yeah, it has sparked a little bit of insecurities, but I kind of just mash those away, because I'm like, you know what, girl, you're beautiful anyways. And this stuff, like, I do regain my balance. Like, my weight comes and then it leaves. Like, I've seen myself fluctuate, and sometimes it's not even weight, it's just me being bloated because I'm not eating the way that I should be eating. Again, having a healthy relationship with food is so important just in general, but when you have all these problems or issues or struggles, it makes it just a tad bit harder. And this is a reminder, if you are watching this and you notice you've been having sometimes unhealthy patterns with food because of the things that I just mentioned, please be kind to yourself, be kind to your body, be patient, but also be mindful, because again, food is medicine. You need it to thrive. Like, use it as a force to make sure that you are not overeating, you're not undereating, you're making sure that you have a nice balance. Yes, because I be eating my ice cream and my snacks and my french fries and all that stuff, guys. Like, don't I don't be playing with that. But I believe in a good, nice balance. And I've always loved my veggies, so I love my eating my veggies, but I realize now if I'm gonna make sure I eat them, I need to set myself up for success. Meal prep the way that I need to meal prep. That way my week is set and I don't have to worry about it ever again. And the last thing that I want to share with you guys is having ADHD has allowed me to understand and realize that I just have certain sensitivities to foods. And I'm understanding it now because as a kid, my mom knew, like, I was just always known as the picky kid. I was always known as the kid who was very picky with her food, what foods she ate, and how the foods were prepared. I just want to make that clear. So it's not just food. Like, I might not be picky about a certain food that I eat, but if it's not prepared or cut a certain way, I cannot eat it. And I always just, again, as a kid, you grow up hearing, oh yeah, Nay's picky, Nay's picky. She's a picky eater, that's why she's so skinny. But not knowing, like, it's a whole mindset, ADHD, mentality, process problem that I was dealing with all along. And one of those things I noticed for me is I was always a kid who hated soggy foods. Give me a second, because I'm not being dramatic. That was literally just me imagining soggy food in my mouth. I've always been a kid who did not have a healthy relationship with food when it came to cereals, because cereals sit in the milk too long, they get soggy. I cannot eat soggy food. That texture is gross. It is gross. And I got in a lot of trouble as a kid for, there are starving kids around the world and you're not eating your cereal, you're letting it go to waste, you're wasting food or whatever. And that was just something that I just could not eat. Also, I don't like things that jiggle. So pudding, Jello was not really one of those things that I like to eat a lot. I cannot. I can't. The texture grosses me out. Anything that feels like boogery or slimy or whatever, I cannot. Keep that far away from me. And that's why I also don't like cheese, because cheese to me, especially melted cheese specifically, it's rubbery. It gives that, like, it gives a non-edible. Really, all my whole entire life, my childhood, I've never been a cheese person. I'll eat the grated Parmesan cheese on my pasta. I love Parmesan cheese. I'll put that on anything and everything because it's like small, tiny pieces. So I'll put that on my salads and my pizzas, my breads, all of that stuff. But I noticed when it came to the bigger chunks of cheese, especially like if somebody makes mac and cheese and there's like so much cheese in it, I cannot eat it. It's giving rubbery slime, like I said before. I can't do it. And even with pizza, if there's too much cheese on pizza, I end up taking the cheese off. And people who have eaten pizza with me over the years can bear witness. There will be a tiny little mountain of cheese on the side of my plate when I'm eating my pizza, because I would rather just eat a little bit of the cheese with the bread and the sauce. The bread and the sauce are the superstars. I don't care what anybody says. It's not the cheese for me at all. I want the toppings and the bread and the sauce. But I noticed that about myself. And then I don't eat meat a lot. I don't eat meat a lot at all anymore. But when I do eat meat, it has to be small pieces, because there's this certain texture about meat that if I'm trying to eat like a big chunk size, I gag. I can't. I have to spit it out. So if I'm eating like cut up chicken, if I'm eating a big piece of like breaded chicken, for example, then I'll, just be piecing it out myself as I eat it with whatever else I'm eating it with, right? But if I'm eating like taco meat or ground turkey specifically, I gotta mash that up. Like when we did it at my house recently for my sister's birthday, I was like, no, I'll do taco meat. Because I literally stayed there for minutes just chopping it up into small pieces and then charring it to make sure it was extra crispy and not anything. Yeah, my meat has to be cut up small. I don't eat meat off the bone. I don't know how. Do not judge me. It's just things like that. So yeah, those were the main things that came to my mind with the food sensory issues. But all of those things I've had since I was a kid, and I was always been seen as a picky eater. And over time, I've again had eating issues because I was borderline underweight for a lot of my childhood. And I couldn't gain weight, really. Like I would be eating a lot sometimes, and I still would not gain the necessary weight that I needed to be considered at a healthy weight. So with all of this combined, like I said before, to end this video, keep in mind what you're eating, keep in mind how you're eating, and honestly, at the end of the day, just be mindful. Like, I've been trying to do that more often, where I'm taking my time with my food, and I'm trying to be more mindful of the things that I'm putting into my body. Why am I eating? How am I eating? When am I eating? Where am I eating? All those things matter. So, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode for my ADHD. I don't know, I have to figure out a name for this series or whatever, but I really don't know. But I'll come up with a name for it, and I'm really just happy that I did make that first video, because the comments that I've gotten in person and also in the comment section and just on social media and stuff, I really do appreciate it, because sometimes, like, I'll make a random video and I'm like, why am I making this? Like, should I post this? I don't know. But then I see it ends up helping somebody, which really warms my heart, because that's the whole purpose. That's the sole purpose, right? And to everyone saying that I'm your sister online over YouTube, thank you. Like, that was one of my main goals as a YouTuber. It's like, I just want to be someone's sister, right? Like, I want to be someone who they feel like they can connect with over videos. And if you say that you feel like I'm your sister, then I'm doing something right. So thank you so much. That warms my heart. And yeah, we'll get back into our next episode, our next video, hopefully soon. And that next topic, as per usual, it's going to be a nice one. So, peace, love, and joy. Don't forget self-care, and we are out. Lehi throat.